Hi guys, it's Chantal here, and today I'm gonna do a video where I'm gonna answer a few questions about me as a blind person. So I hope you enjoy this video, and please like and subscribe, as well as share if you think that someone else could use this video, and enjoy.
Hi Chantal, let me ask you the first of several questions that do come to mind. And I'm thinking about political correctness, and these days political correctness can be rather inhibiting and restrictive, and actually quite a sort of a dangerous territory to tread. So everything these days is referred to as challenged. We tend to avoid naming things actually by what they are. And I noticed that you do refer all over your website and in amongst your YouTube channels that you follow, I do see that the word blind is used all the time. And I was wondering if people are frowning upon that and saying, no, you're not blind, you're visually challenged, or something like that. And I perhaps know what you mean, because I have not made a video recording like this before, and when I do it I actually have to look at myself. And when I look at myself, I see that I am maybe older than what I was, and it doesn't look so good. And I want to maybe call myself So what I was actually saying about using politically correct language, I don't know if looking at my ancient self in this video, whether I should consider myself as, or call myself old or aged, or I don't know, visually challenged in years, or something less pertinent, less dire sounding than old. So I guess we all have our challenges. I congratulate you on what you actually are trying to do, and I wish you all sorts of success, and let's see what happens with your channel. Cheers then.
Well, the reason most of the channels have the word blind in it is because it's easier I feel that it's easier for me and maybe a few other people that it's to find the channels, get to it much quicker, and to know, okay, this is done by a blind person. And that's the reason why most channels have the word blind, or has something to do with blind when it comes to the video that the person's making. I think the word visually challenged is used for most people think that you're visually challenged, or that you're not, because you can maybe do things that sighted people normally would do. So sometimes people would not really think about that we are able to do something that sighted people can do. I think that when you're blind, then you have to do blind things, and that's also the reason why I think why people must judge us. And the word blind is used more than visually challenged, because it's much friendlier.
Panquiller. The sleep patterns of sighted people are affected by annual rhythms. Most need more sleep in winter months than summer. Do you have the same rhythms?
Well, I normally go to bed early, so it doesn't really affect me When it's nighttime, it's nighttime. When it's daytime, it's daytime. So maybe for other blind people it's different than for me, but I go to sleep normally, and sometimes I would wake up during the night, or when I go to sleep during the day, I'm really tired when I wake up again. But for me it's not different, summer or winter. In the summer I would wake up because it gets too hot. In the winter, if I don't have enough blankets on my bed, I would also wake up, but otherwise I'm sleeping normally, I suppose. My sleep pattern doesn't change, still stay the same. Maybe I would wake up more in the summer and less in the winter. I'm not really sure, because I never really think about that, but yeah, my sleep pattern doesn't change much.
Michael Malver. I live in the United States. Each state has a division of government specifically designed to help people who are blind learn the skills of blindness, and to gain employment. What kind of support systems are there in South Africa for people who are blind? Are there paratransit systems in South Africa such as we have in America? Are there regional advocacy groups?
Well, to answer your question, in Cape Town they have My City, that's a bus service. We do have city buses in Johannesburg, Cape Town, maybe a few other towns. We have Uber, taxis, but in smaller towns we don't have that. In smaller towns you have to either use your cane, guide dog, or family and friends to get to where you want to go. So not all of us have the luxury of having special transport that's just for us, and we don't get any support from government. Blind people and disabled people have to do everything on their own. We only get grants, we don't have subsidized gizmos and gadgets and any other, how should I say, we don't have anything that we can rely on from the government except for a very small grant. It's just basically, if you're staying with family, then that's fine if they allow you to keep it and do with it what you want, but we don't have anything like coupons, or we don't get any discount on something because of a disability. We also pay taxes on everything that we buy. We do have organizations like Blind SA, the Society for the Blind, and a few others. When they do the, like if something's wrong, like recently we had a problem with bus drivers not treating disabled people very well, as well as old people. So then one of these groups or organizations, they would usually go and have a word with the bus companies. I know that Guide Dogs also recently launched something where they teach people about guide dogs and service dogs and why we have the dogs, what the dogs do. So here in South Africa we don't have all those wonderful options. Most of the time if we want to buy something, then we either have to ask an organization to help us and then pay them back. Luckily we don't pay rent. Or we have to ask friends or family, or even raise funds. So we also use low-tech gadgets. We don't have all the nice things that's available lately. We also have to make use of apps, and some of us makes use of low-end smartphones. And most of us either have Android phones, or some blind people does have Apple phones. We also use Be My Eyes these days, and that is a program that helps us a lot, but we don't have a nice color detection gadget. We don't have the IR smart glasses. We don't, most of us don't use braille watches or smart cane or any kind of GPS like the Captain Plus or the other GPS for the blind, because those things are just simply way out of our reach and too expensive, and so most of us rely on what we have. We don't have much here in South Africa that's been manufactured for us. There is a computer that I know of that they are making. It's in the form of a keyboard, so the computer is inside, but we don't have anything that's made in South Africa except for our canes. They used to make the braille machines here, but they don't do that anymore. So most of what we need or want, we have to get from America, UK, also depending on the rand. And so if we're lucky, sometimes we would be sponsored with something, or someone would give you something, but overall anything we want to get, like even a camera, we have to get that on our own without any help. And so yes, mostly the disabled people in South Africa are on their own, and they have to find their own way and make things work as best as they can.
Okay, here's another question. I sort of learned to touch type, and of course touch typing means not looking at the keyboard. Are blind people able to touch type? I should think that you're not able to see the keyboard either. And then do you have programs which help you know what keys you are actually pressing and can read out the words that you are typing? Look forward to hearing your answer.
On our keyboard, I use a normal keyboard. We do get special keyboards that are specially made for us, but at college and at school we are taught to use a normal keyboard. So if you look at your keyboard, in the middle where you get the F and the D, S, A, and then on the other side the J, K, L, on the J and on the F there's a little dot. So we are taught that when you find those dots, you put your fingers on that row, and then they basically teach us above which letter and underneath which letter you would find what symbol or which letter. So underneath the K you would find the comma, the L you find the dot, under the J the M and N, under the F you would find the V and the C, and so on, and then on the the right side of the F is a G, and on the left side of the J is the H. And then obviously the row above with the I and the U and the O and the P, the T, Y, and the R, and the E and W and Q, and then the numbers, and also the backspace and all the F keys. Some keyboards are a bit different from each other, so when you get a new keyboard you just have to learn the new layout, and when you're used to it then you know exactly where everything is. But you can buy special labels or the special keyboard. I use I think mine is a Logitech, so it's got media keys as well. I've changed mine to the normal volume up and down, and the mute and the play and pause buttons are on my left, and on my right side of my keyboard I have two buttons which is supposed to be for the calculator, and I think the other one is supposed to be for mail, but I've changed that to back and forward. So I use those keys a lot. And then my laptop keyboard, that one's a bit different. That one confuses me sometimes. It's a gaming keyboard or style keyboard with red keys and normal keys. The red keys is used for gaming, and if you want to use the numpad, then you have to obviously use the FN key with something else to get the numpad on and off, and so that keyboard's a bit different, and I don't use it every day. So when I do use it, I have to quickly figure out, okay, this button does this, that button is for volume, this is to get the numpad on and off. So yeah, it depends on the keyboard, but we learn ourselves very quickly how to we teach ourselves how to use the keyboard very quickly. So it's not a must that we have to have a special keyboard for everything. I also make use of a screen reader called NVDA, which basically reads text, and with Google's help these days I can also read images on Google Chrome. So sometimes it would say, like if it's a company logo, it would say maybe SAS or KFC, if it's able to make out what the logo is about. Some images it would say no image description, so then I would use a function on my screen reader to try and see maybe if that is able to figure out what's on the picture. But I'm not always bothered with what's on there, so and then you can also use a braille display, but I don't have one. A few years ago someone did give me a machine that does have a screen reader on it as well as a braille display, but the display itself needs to be serviced, and that unfortunately for me is a bit expensive, so I'm not using that one anymore. So mostly I rely on my screen reader and just the normal keyboard. So even if I come and visit you or a friend or family member, I just take a memory stick with me with my screen reader. If they have a laptop, then I would just ask them, okay, tell me where all the keys are, like which one is for insert, which one is for delete, and the rest of the keyboard I figured out rather quickly. So it doesn't take me long to work out how to work with the keyboard and where everything is, and even to figure out the layout of the computer itself. So from there mostly everything is the same way as a sighted person would figure it out. I would look at what's on the screen, we would maybe check which icons are there, the same way, just by using the screen reader instead of using our eyes, obviously. But mostly all of the things we do is exactly the same as a sighted person.
Adam Alayman. How do you get around town? Do you all have a bus system that you all use to get around?
Okay, like I said in the previous question, most big cities does have a bus or Uber or a taxi or some other transport. Some people do use trains as well, but where I'm from, we don't have a train. We do have a train track going through town, but it's not used anymore. So it's basically just sitting there. We do have a taxi here, but I don't make use of that one. I rather go with my dad, or usually I would have taken my guide dog, which I don't have at the moment. So if I want to go somewhere in town, then I usually just ask my dad to take me.
And while I'm at it asking these questions, let me ask another one. And I do remember being able to give you an idea of the solar system, how it is put together, by showing you a model and being able to guide your hands across the different planets and to sort of feel their orbits. And that was in 2012, and I hope that helped you get some sort of better sense of what the solar system is like. And then I was thinking, all right, fine, you aren't able to look at pictures and watch videos and so on, but actually there's not really much difference between sighted and non-sighted people when it comes to the solar system, because none of us can actually really see it. All that we can actually see are little dots up in the sky, and it's very difficult it's impossible for us to look at the big picture, and that's why we actually have to look at pictures and models and books. So we all form some sort of imagination, in our imagination, a picture of what the solar system is like, and how to try and understand how it works. So maybe it's sort of pretty similar for unsighted people, who also have to form a picture in their minds, have to imagine how it's working and actually use more. So what I was saying is that perhaps unsighted people, blind people, also have to form an understanding in their minds of how the solar system works.
Yeah, I remember that model. I'm more of a practical person, and most of us like to touch something, or when someone tells us about something, like for instance, like the system that you showed me that you made with all the planets. I remember knocking one out of orbit, so that's one that I've actually remembered, because if someone tells me something, then I rather want them to actually show it to me as well, because if someone just tells me about it and I don't have anything in front of me to use as a guide, or to know, okay, this is what the person is talking about, then I can get bored rather quickly. So to have something like that, and to feel the different planets and feel them in different textures. I still remember the one with the rings around it, and I think it was that one that went completely out of orbit by accident. But it was so much fun, because I could actually recognize, okay, this planet is here, and this is the planet's name, and so to have it in different textures, and to have you tell me which color it is, it's much easier for me to understand as well what I'm seeing, because if, like I said, if someone just tells me, okay, this is the system that I have here, this is all the planets and stars, if I don't know where they are, what they look like, what they feel like, then it's not easy for me always to make a picture in my mind. But a system like that would really work well in schools, and even for people who wants to be astronomers who can't see, because there's something that they can actually feel and move around and know exactly where everything is at. So that's something that I enjoyed so much, that I could see where everything's at and how it works, and that's something that I enjoyed a lot.
Louisa de Villiers. How safe is it for blind peeps to live in South Africa, with its high crime rate?
As for the safety here in South Africa for blind people, personally I would say no, it's not really safe, because we don't have any way of defending ourselves, even with a guide dog or cane. We have to improvise. But I did recently ask one of our organizations whether they can maybe get a self-defense trainer to go to guide dogs or to the institutions where they teach people to walk with canes, to also teach them how to defend themselves, because I think that we are basically walking targets. But I mean, you can't stay inside forever. At some point you have to go out and buy something. You can't just use these fancy apps and order something. Like in my town we don't have that. So if I want to go, and I need to go, I have to go on my own. You can't always rely on everyone, otherwise you wouldn't be able to do anything on your own at all. So at this point we have to risk our necks to do.
Date Madeline Ball. When you dream at night, is it in colors, and is it about people you know, and how do you know it is them? And if people talk about color, is just a word to you, or do you imagine something?
Okay, when I dream of my family, my friends, my pets, maybe people walking past me, or maybe people that I've seen on TV or on the computer. Most of the time I would make up my own character, and I do dream in colors, maybe in the same way that what I see every day, I'm not sure. Also in sound, touch, smell, and I recognize people by basically their shoes or the way they walk. Maybe they've got a bangle on, maybe they've got their car keys with them, maybe they have a certain perfume on, or maybe they just like to talk a lot. But it did happen a few times that people have been next to me or behind me or in front of me, and I wouldn't even know that it's someone that I know. So unless they talk to me, I wouldn't even know they are there. So I had many people ask me before, why aren't you saying hello? I was right next to you, and I would tell them, but it doesn't mean that when I see you today, I would remember you tomorrow. And even with family, if they don't talk to me, for instance, when we're at the front door, if I don't say who they are, then I just close the door and then I don't know who you are. And I've done that before to one of my aunts. I closed the door on her because she didn't say hello or anything. And she wasn't very happy about it, but I told her I can't recognize you by just looking at you. If I know that you have something with you, or you wear a specific perfume or anything like that, then I will know. But if you don't talk to me, then I'm sorry, I'm gonna close the door. Even if it's my own brother, I'll do that. I can still see colors, only bright ones. I do get confused between beige and white sometimes, and orange and pink, purple and black, maybe blue, green, gold and silver. But I don't really mind if it's shiny, it's shiny. Yeah, I like shiny things. But yeah, I can see bright colors. Those colors, I don't always get confused with them. So, but in school we used to have cookies. They were really nice because I know the brown smelled like the red smelled like lollipops. I think it was the purple that smelled like bubble gum. Green, that one had a, I don't know, it smelled like plants. Can't remember all the colors. I only saw those things when I was in grade 2. But if I were completely wrong, like my one friend said, well, she knows that green is grass, brown is either ground or the tree. She knows water is colorless. She knows that white is snow or ice. She knows that, for instance, which color? Red is like that red lollipop. And so most would associate color with either smell or maybe what it tastes like. It depends, but yeah, I can still see bright colors, so at least those who can't see know some sort of system that they use to know what is a certain color.
Okay, so you've told me that you use, what is it, Movie Maker and Win10 Photos apps in preparing your videos and whatever else you do. And could you just explain to us how you actually are able to do that with your visual restrictions? Interested to know.
Okay, how I used to, okay, the program that I used to put all my things into what you see on YouTube is I would use the old program called Movie Maker. It's very buggy, but I would sometimes use that program, or I would use the new Windows 10 Photos program. I would basically load all my videos, and since I can still see a little, I would look at the video, and maybe if I see there's a piece of video where I don't want, then I split the video in two and just delete the part that I don't want. I also would sometimes ask for help, but that's only when I have videos that I haven't made myself, or if it's videos that I'm putting together for someone else. But most of the time, after loading the videos, I also sometimes number them, video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that I know, okay, this video is first, this video is last, and then I would add some music, and I would add titles, captions. There are some things that I would like to have added extra, like the 3D option. I've seen that you can do some really nice things with that, but unfortunately the program isn't blind friendly to the point where you can move a 3D object around. So unfortunately I can't use that part. But to edit the video, that's not too hard to do, even if you can't see. If I'm really lazy and it's not a video where I'm talking, then I would use the quick movie option. So then Windows does everything for me, and I don't have to worry. So I just put in the photos and videos, and the program would do everything on its own. So I don't have a problem with putting videos together at this point. And even if I don't have my site anymore, there is certain ways that you can mark a video. Like this one guy that I've seen uses sound, so he make a sound at the beginning of his video, and maybe at the end, or maybe in the middle, or wherever he wants to make it. And then when he edits the videos, he knows where the sound is. He knows he has to split or add something or do something with the video there. And as for knowing if my camera is showing the right way or doing the right thing, I would get a family member to help me with that. They would come and check and see if the screen is okay, like is the video in the middle. Like I can see at the moment, okay, this is how I want my camera to show me. But if I really want to make sure that I'm not making any fool of myself, then I would ask a sighted person, listen, just come and have a look and see, is it okay, should it be like this, or should I move the camera to the left, the right, up, down. Like at the moment I'm actually using my TV to keep the camera level, and I'm using my selfie stick as a stand because I don't have a tripod. So the selfie stick is on the table, lying on its side, with the front end where the phone should be holding the camera, and the camera is leaning against the TV. So usually I would use my phone and just hold it in front of my face, but it does make my arms really tired. And even with the iPad, at some point it feels like I'm holding onto a piece of rock because I think it's really heavy. It's I think they call it the iPad 5, so that thing is a cross between iPad Air 2 and iPad Mini 4. So it's a bit thicker than the iPad Airs and also a bit heavier. So it's also a bit of a pain to use it sometimes. But yeah, to make the videos, no problem. The only thing that frustrates me when it comes to accessibility, I want to climb the nearest wall when I'm not able to do something. Like I get this idea, I want to maybe add this to the video, maybe what do you call it, maybe a waterfall at the back, or wind blowing past, or anything like that, but I can't. Of course we don't have that. We don't have a video editor that gives us the option to actually do all the cool stuff that the sighted people can do. So we have to make do with what we have, even though it drives us nuts. I don't know about other blind people, but I sometimes feel like I want to wring someone's neck and tell them, please think about us as well. We're not so behind. We want to be where you are. We want to be on the same level. But unfortunately, there has to be more than one of us to ask people like Microsoft, for instance, to add more features or to make it more blind friendly. Like with this Photos app, we can't edit the soundtrack. Like we can't make it stop in the middle of nowhere unless we make separate videos. So now to get that feature, we have to write to Microsoft, and more than 5 people have to ask the same thing and make some noise, and then eventually they will add that feature for us. But if it's only one person, then you're really lucky if they even look at your request. So we have to make do with what we have. I know that there's other editors, video editors for the blind, but these 2 programs are the only ones that I'm using, because the others are, maybe I don't have patience with them, I don't know, but I don't like them, and they aren't my favorites. So this is how I make my videos, by Windows Photos app as well as the old Windows Movie Maker.
Carleen Barnard. It might be a weird one. Do you only see darkness? Does it ever get you down?
There is a few things that gets me down. That's knowing that I'm losing details. For instance, I can't see people's faces very well anymore. I can't see my games that I used to play anymore. For instance, I can see, if when I play Sonic, I can see where the character is going, but by the time it registers, the character's already, well, gone 6 feet under. So knowing that there's nothing that you can do to actually stop what's happening. Like I've got glaucoma, so I know what's happening, and I know that at some point I won't be able to see the things that I used to see, and that does get me down, because even the things I used to do on my computer I can't do anymore, because I can't see where I'm going with the mouse anymore. And I do have my up and down days, especially when I get frustrated with the program and I just wish that I could see enough to work with the program. But yeah, unfortunately, knowing that you are losing what you have, I've got less than 15%, maybe even less than that, because I can't measure my eyesight anymore, and I can't even get better glasses anymore. That does get me down. So it's only when I get frustrated that I really feel down, but sometimes I just try to live with it. But like I said, you do get your up days and down days, but it's not easy. It's just something that you have to accept. But I'm looking into research from doctors and professors overseas, and I'll send them emails volunteering as a guinea pig, because I enjoy doing things like that, to be a guinea pig for tests and things. So yes, I do have my ups and downs, and it's just something that I have to accept.
Chantal, you have mentioned the possibility of there being tactile or touch screens that enable a blind person to be able to feel things like braille on a touch screen, or even be able to feel pictures. What sort of developments? I've just had a quick look on Google, and there seems to be quite a bit of development in that way. Is there anything that you hope to see yourself being able to use in the future?
As for the screen that you can feel pictures on, if there's one thing, I would like to get my hands on one, because I want to actually take one of these things and go to the telescope in Sutherland. It's just a fantasy that I have, to get it connected there and actually be able to feel the stars. It's something that I really want to do. I also like the idea of being able to feel things like photos and maybe a game or two and videos. I can still see photos, but I can't see all the details. So being able to actually feel the video or the photo, that would actually be nice. But the first thing I would want to do with one of those screens is to feel the stars. Another about the blind tab, I'm not sure if they can feel pictures with it now. I've heard about a screen that NASA was actually working on. I don't even know if they still have that. But also Disney. But since I've never seen those things before, only maybe seen a video or read about it, it makes me quite, wow, that I really want one, and I would be so happy if I can finally have something that I can use, because if I can even use that screen to use programs, animation programs, because I also love to write stories and I would like to bring my stories to life, and if I have a screen that I could actually use and feel icons and use it with the animation program to bring my stories to life, that would make me literally jump over the moon if I'm able to. But yes, I would love to get my hands on one of those screens, and it would mean so much, because I've got so many ideas in my head what I would do, all the stories that I would create. I've got a story, for instance, that I wrote when I was only 11 years old. That's when I got my first computer, a computer of my own. I remember it was an old computer my uncle gave me, and I wrote a story on there and I lost it. The computer broke a few months after I got it. The hard drive basically just crashed, so I lost that story. So I had to rewrite it again. I think it's still on a stiffy somewhere, but eventually I got it onto a memory stick. I've recently rewritten it. It still probably have lots of problems, but if I can get my hands on one of those touchscreens and I can use it for all the ideas that I have, it would be a dream come true, because then I would actually do something that I enjoy so much, and that is to dream up stories, write them and see them come to life, as well as looking at the stars, and maybe have other blind people who want to see what's going on up there, and if there's little green men maybe hiding there. Yeah, I just know that I would be so happy. But yes, I would probably do a lot of things with that screen. So yeah, I just hope that I would be able to get one day.
How I make videos and browse the internet.
Okay, the videos that I'm gonna show you guys now is how I make my videos, or not not how exactly how I make them, but how I put them together. I'm gonna use videos from my hospital experience. So I'm just gonna make a quick video, like a quick movie, so I won't be putting in any changes like I usually would with my normal videos. And then I'll also try to show a video where maybe browse the internet. Maybe I'll look up a few cats or something, and yeah, I'm gonna show you a few videos, so I hope you enjoy it.
Warning. Please turn the volume down a bit.
Context men open no cast and 7 CRs scan for check when the cast list shares and open with sub films PDF 1 of 7 photos D2 video with photos space play button play tooltip skip forward button volume 100 button to lap C total video length 9 minutes hit more FR button see all photos button add delete button delete share button more FR button see more tooltip full screen button modi 00 Z play button play skip backward button skip forward volume 1.c total video length 9 more FR button see more tooltip see all photos button browse all your photos and video add the button add the album or video delete button delete edit create button 1 of 6 trim your video to focus on your best mode add animated set add 3D effect create a video project add edit create button 1 of 3 creating video from selected items pop up dialog creating video from selected items creating video from selected items creating video from selected items photos window E-R-E-V-I-E-W play button excellent questions from sighted people back button name your video dialog name your video name edit selected new video E-R-E-V-I-E level preview video projects editing new video Modi 0000 copy 2 copy button in the storyboard add button 101 add more photos and videos for this project Modi 00 new medium radio but new small previous frame button play button play A tooltip next frame button next frame L tooltip play button play A tooltip previous frame button previous play button next quick seek slide full screen list Modi 0 trim 9 minutes adjust volume button add title card button trim button 2 split button 3 of text button 4 motion button 5 of 10 3D effects filters button resize button rotate button 9 of 10 rotate remove more FR button see more tool back button video projects button preview edit read only preview change video title a new button 1 of 6 a new background music button custom audio sync to OneDrive button back up your video export a shareable video file tool show hide button show add button 1 of 1 add more photos stick from this PC space add button 1 of 1 open dialog file name combo box items view list captures not selected row 1 column 1 of 2 preview this PC for access seeking expansion drive D items view with D video projects 10 of 12 D items view list DCIU UF items D items view list Modi 0 Modi 0000301 column 444 item type audio file size 174 MB photos window add button 1 of 1 photos add more photos and videos to this project tooltip photos window add button 1 of 1 adding files pop up dialog adding files add button 1 of 1 Modi 0000 placing the storyboard button 1 of 2 add selected item Modi 0000 pop new medium radio but new small previous play button next frame seek slide full screen list trim 9 minutes adjust volume button add title card button 1 trim button 2 split button 3 text button 4 motion button 5 3D effects filters button resize button rotate remove more back button video projects button preview edit read only change a new button 1 of 6 background music button 3 of 6 add recommend custom audio button 4 of 6 import custom audio tracks and narration tooltip background music button 3 space background music content dialog select amplify another marks arcade party not selected 4 of 30 wasn't not selected 5 of arcade another amplify maximum 1 of 30 amplify play preview button play preview sync your video to the music speed checkbox not check space check list play preview button play preview full space another not selected 3 of 4 space selected play preview button space another arcade party not play preview button play preview space wasn't not selected but play preview space now parade not select play preview button play preview full space come with me not selected 7 of 30 play preview space Disney Ocean not selected. Explorer not selected. 20 Club not selected. Happy Beat not selected. Let's Go not selected. Happy Beat not selected. Let's Go not selected. 14 of 30. Play Blue Space. Light Rain not selected. 14 of 38. Misty Mountain Top not select. New Groove not select. Neon Night not on. Bold not select. Pixelated not select. Gravel Sprint Club. Brazil Summer not reflecting. Cool not remember when not select. Rescue Crew not selected. Rising Tide not select. Road Trip not selected. 26 of 38. Play Blue Space. Rose Petals not. Simpler Times not. Spooky Story not select. Starlight Glow not selected. 30 of 38. Play Preview button. Play Preview Space. Space. Street Party not selected. 30. Stunt Level not selected. Sundays not selected. TV Tune not selected. Taken Flight not selected. 30. Play Free Space. Space. Together not selected. 36. Play Space. Space. Without Deacon Gerald. Ready March not selected. Without Together 36 of Taken Flight not selected. TV Tune not selected. Sundays not selected. Play Free Space. Space. Stunt Level not selected. Street Party not selected. Starlight Glow not selected. Spooky Story not selected. Simpler Times not selected. Play Preview Space. Space. Rose Petals not selected. Road Trip not selected. Rising Tide not selected. 25 of 38. Play Preview Space. Space. Rescue Crew not selected. Remember when not selected. For Space. Selected. Play Preview Space. Space. Reflecting Pool not selected. 20. Play Preview Space. Space. Rebel Summer not select. Play Preview Space. Space. Gravel Sprint for heading up. Play Preview button for Space. Space. Pixelated not selected. Play Free Space. Space. Sync your video with a music speed check box check. Music volume slider 100. What mute music toggle top of button. Stage changes apply. Background music button 3 of 6. Custom audio but sync to 1 live button. Finish video button 6 of 6. Explore the shareable video. More at bar button. See space. Pop-up dialog. Backup clock themes button 3 of 6. Set a theme dialog. Adventure not selected 2 of 7. Show I button, add button, mode easy. New media, use more previous. Next proceed select full screen list, mode 0000. Space. Full screen but seat slider, next frame but play button. Play. Play. Next proceed select full screen button. List, mode 0000, copy, 2, space. Full screen seat slider 1, next frame button, play button, space. Next frame button, next frame, L to open, seat slider 88.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you videos of where I'm browsing the internet. I'm going to look up a few cats maybe, and how I navigate YouTube, for instance. Maybe I'll see where I go, and I hope you enjoy it.
You have Google Chrome, address and search bar edit tab auto complete level, Google com selected, Google selected, unselected. Google document, search combo box has auto complete editable search, man. S-A-I-N-L-E-S-S, space, C-A-T-S, space, W-A-E-R-E, space, D-O, space, E-A-E-Y, space, C-O-N-E, space, F-R-O-N. Skippers capture do they come from group. Search mode heading level 1. Main landmark search results heading level 1. Clickable Sphinx at origin heading level 2. Link graphic image result. Link graphic map of Toronto. Toronto heading level 3. Heading level 3 the Sphinx cat is reverse terrorist factory that has been read specifically for that trade. Heading level 3 breeding program began in 1966 in Ontario, Canada when the pet cat gave birth to a terrorist male. Heading level 3 kitten. However, most Sphinx cats born today are descended from 3 terrorist kittens found in heading level 3 Toronto in 1978. Clickable link heading level 3 Sphinx cat breed information arena graphic clickable no description available.
thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're learning something interesting, and I hope that it would also be able to help someone maybe who doesn't know much about or isn't sure about blind people. But what I want people to know is, don't be shy to ask us. And I will admit there are some of us who doesn't like it to answer questions, even if silly ones. But if you're not sure about something or curious, don't hesitate to ask anyone, or ask us blindies or even disabled person how they do something. Just don't ask questions you know someone normally wouldn't ask you, because I myself experienced some very personal questions, and I've told this person that don't ask questions that you don't want someone else to ask you. So don't be shy about asking, and even if you want to see how they do things, some people will allow you even to see how they do their shopping, or how they even take the bus, or how they do their washing. So never be shy to ask. Just like anyone else, you do get rude people that are disabled, and then you get those of us who won't mind to teach you a thing or two. So I hope that this video would help answer your questions that you might have had, and please share, please like it, and I hope that next time when you see a disabled person, you wouldn't hesitate to strike up a conversation with them. So thank you so much again for watching, and I hope that you've enjoyed it.